Do you often make presentations at your work to depict your work, to bring in the new strategies, innovative ideas, pretty much any agenda, but a lot of presentations. And then you wonder, how do I make them more impactful, powerful, crisp? Yeah. Well, if that's the case, then let me tell you what you do before initiating, before starting to make the presentation right there in front of the people. What happens before that, what goes into making that, you reaching there, sets the tone. Yeah. It just sets you up for making a powerful presentation. So I'm going to share with you 6 things that I do before even getting up there to start my presentation, and they set the tone for my presentation. If that interests you, make sure you stay on right until the end. Hi, I'm Aastha Tatia, daughter of 2 rock-solid pillars, mother to a lovely daughter, wife of a humor king, an engineer, MBA, corporate executive turned anchor person, now an author and a happiness coach, helping corporate leaders build their happiness muscle by creating meaningful relationships at their workplace. If what you hear today interests you, you feel it's valuable, then go ahead and hit the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you've not done it already. Let's dive straight into the 6 things that you can do before you even go there to give or to make your presentation, right? The number 1 thing, plan. Okay, so right from the time you know, okay, this is when I have to make the presentation and this is what it is going to be about, you kind of create a structure like, how much time do I have in hand, right? Who's going to be my audience? How many people are going to be there? Where is it going to be? So pretty much getting all the information that is required. And then, how much time do you have in hand? So how much time do you want to devote on a daily or a weekly basis, which will go into the preparation of the whole thing? And so just putting across all those dots there so that you know you can work within that framework, like a broad plan. Yeah. Number 2, preparing. Now, once the plan is there, a broad plan is there, you get down to preparing. Now, preparing, of course, means getting your content together, how you're going to do that, all of that. But I think how well the content is going to land depends upon the context. How clear or how clear are you about the whole context? Yeah. So my audience is this is the agenda. This is how I want to, or where I want to approach it from. So once you have a clarity and you keep that context alive in your head, I think that's a fundamental to have a very powerful presentation, because a lot of times we get down to preparing the presentation, the content, and we keep thinking, what more should I bring in so that it'll look very nice? Can I bring in some more jargons? Can I bring some nice quotation? We miss out on the underlying context, which is, can I keep it simple? Can I make it in a way so that people are able to connect, relate? People who come there, who are there, the audience, when they walk out, they say, wow, they were amazing 2 hours that I spent listening to this gentleman or this lady. Yeah. So what's that context? Have that context very clear, and that's when the content will fall in place automatically. It's going to come in from there, and you'll never get wrong. Yeah. That's number 2. Number 3, once you've made all the preparation, and let me tell you, preparation includes what do you plan to wear when you're going to make the presentation? I mean, I'm talking about my perspective and how I do it, how I'd like to approach it. So yes, it is about the presentation, but how am I going to be presenting myself there, which means how am I going to be dressed up, my shoes, because it's going to be this kind of a room, how much space will I have to move around? I kind of try and figure out all of that in advance, right? So coming to the 3rd one, which is practice. Yeah, I think there can be no substitute to practicing. No matter how good you are, no matter how many times you've done it, but once you have prepared and you know this is my context, I feel practicing is very, very important. Yeah, and it just gives you that sense of being in charge and in control. And at least what I like to do is, once I know I have my context clear and I know my content well, I know it'll flow, However, I practice the opening quite well, which means I know that when my opening goes well, then it just sets the tone for, it builds the confidence, builds the momentum, and then you can go with the flow, right? So that has to be powerful, which is, of course, connecting with the people depending upon who the audience is. And yeah, how do I want to set that whole tone? So maybe practicing a little bit, and maybe if there's some activity that I want to do, there is something that I want to deliver which is powerful, and maybe I can practice it with some people around and see whether it is getting across just the way I want it. If so, please do not shy away, do not hesitate from practicing. A lot of times when you miss out is because it's not well practiced, and then what happens? This takes over. So when you practice, it's a very, very powerful way of managing what goes on here. You feel in charge and in control, right? So that's very important. Number 4, I think visualization. Visualizing what? I kind of close my eyes and I visualize how I am, presenting and what's happening, what's the room like, what's the kind of energy, how am I feeling, how are people connecting with me, the whole thing. I just build up that energy and I just visualize. It gives me, I think I just create that possibility beforehand through that visualization. So make sure you visualize how you would want that whole thing to be. Do that beforehand, and not just once, do that couple of times before you really get there to making presentation, right? Number 5, incantations or declarations, whatever you want to call them. But who am I going to be, when I stand there, is something that I like to remind myself quite often, right? So once I'm right there, before getting up there and starting to speak, I do my incantations, I bring in the energy, I make a lot of motion, and I just say those, remind myself, and I say those declarations out loud in a separate space or maybe in my car. But I do that, yeah. They remind me, and that's because I've done that well even before every day. So when they come in, it's a very powerful association in my head that I am in control, I am enough, I'm all powerful, right? So that is quite important. And the most, I would say, something that I often see is missed out by a lot of people, but very important, reach before time. Not just the venue. So a lot of times what happens, you're running late and last minute you rush in. Or even if you reach early, you spend time chit-chatting with people or with some organizers, and go to the place where you are going to be presenting. If it's a place outside, like a third party thing, then go there. Even if it's your own boardroom or your organization within there, the conference hall or something, just go and be there in the place, move around, get a hang of the place, get the vibe, right? Test the mic, look around, look at the room. If you have audience already sitting there, then just throw a glance, see what, just get a feeler, get accustomed, get comfortable with that place. Make sure you do that. And even better if you get well in advance, so that even before audiences are in, you can get in and you can just make friends with the place, the vibe. Yeah, I think that's so important, because what that does is, while you're prepared with everything, your content, your context is in place, you're all dressed up, you're all confident, everything well taken care of, and you get in there for the final things and you just go through everything, just be with yourself, silent, and go through everything and see everything is fine. Anything that makes you uncomfortable, right? You feel, just address it. Anything that you would need, it's not the way you want it, you want to move it, shift it, get that done, right? And all of this, and now imagine now you're all set and you get started. You've pretty much taken care of everything. Now you're all set to be in your power and give your best, right? So these are some of the fundamentals, some of the things that I always practice. And yes, every time is a learning. Every time there's something that I realize. Every time there's a takeaway that, oh, this could have been better. this is something I really want to work on. This today was amazing. I think I love the way we connected, But over time, these 6 have come to become like a standard for me and very, very fundamental. They give me a lot of confidence in making my presentations, right? Let me know in the comments, if there's anything other than this also that you're doing and which makes you feel powerful, which adds on to your whole presentation experience. Would love to hear that. And also let me know what was your takeaway from these. Which of these have you not been doing and you would want to incorporate in your preparation journey, or in the whole journey of you making that presentation? If you think this was valuable, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, because there's lots of such content that we keep putting in here. So make use of that. And I'm going to see you in the next video. Looking forward to hearing from you in the comments. Take care. Bye-bye.